Hello and welcome back. Today we are flying from Bilbao and destination Rennes in France. Have a look at the flight plan. So we are taking off from runway 12 in Bilbao and we take the San Sebastian to Bravo departure. So at about 3200 we turn left on heading 048 and intercept the 090 radial from Bilbao towards San Sebastian. At that point we turn left on a heading 333, pass over Biarritz to the waypoint Le Lut, then left, intercept the 011 heading course towards Bordeaux, and then again a left turn towards Rennes. In Rennes we will be landing on the runway 03. It's an ILS approach, runway 03. So, engines are running, local QNH, we set it to 1015, and we have the airport elevation is 136,140 nearly, so confirmation that the QNH is correct. On the radio we have currently in NAV1 Bilbao VOR. In the standby we have San Sebastian, which is in the active of NAV2, and on the standby of NAV2 we will have the Bordeaux VOR. So, ready for taxi. We are currently on heading 278, so runway 12 is straight ahead, a little on the right. Auto brakes set to rejected takeoff. Flaps 5 are set. We turn right to join a taxiway. There is no need for a pushback. It's a 90 degrees turn, and then left on the taxiway. Thrust idle, and we turn left. Until the holding point for runway 12. We can now select runway turn lines on, start switches, ignition switches to continuous, and strobe lights on. Thrust idle. And we are turning right. It seems that we are on a runway 10. Let's check the little nav map. So we need to take runway 10 and then left first, on the left to go to runway 12. So continue turning right. And we have a crazy climb again. So we turn right on runway 12 and first exit on the left to go to the holding point of runway 12. So let's put the landing lights on. And here's the taxiway on the left. So we'll have to climb rapidly to 3,000 feet and then slowly to flight level 900. So there is the holding point of runway 12. You can start the clock. Thrust idle. Shoes. Lining up runway 12, cleared for takeoff. So the runway heading is 117. Thrust at 40%. Takeoff power set. Forward pressure. Maximum thrust 88.7.
80 knots.
We are slightly below.
V1, rotate.
Rotate. Degrees pitch.
Positive rate.
Gear up.
$400.
Y.
1,000.
Easy climbing. Like that. Okay, autopilot on. Auto thrust on. Increasing speed 220. Heading select. Flaps 2. Auto brakes off. Flaps 1. So on this heading we go to 7.6 nautical mile. .2, and then we turn left on a heading 048. 7.0. Passing 3,500 feet, should be above 3,000 at LEBB. So we have met the restriction. We turn left, heading 048, and on that heading we intercept the 090 radial from Bilbao. Or alternatively we could use the 090 course to San Sebastian, which that is what we will do. So let's tune San Sebastian on nav1. The needle has 1 dot deviation, 38 nautical mile to San Sebastian, so less than 1 dot. Engage Warlock, and we can tune next VOR on F2, which is Bordeaux. The last VOR will be Nantes 11550. Passing now 6,300. Let's go to standard altimeter. And we increase the speed to 250 knots. And we select flaps up. Flaps up, no light, gear off. Landing light off. Runway light and taxi lights off. Start ignition switch off. Logo light and wheel well off. And seatbelt signs to auto.
$1,000 to go.
So San Sebastian is now 30.5 nautical mile. We will turn left on radial 033. Towards Lullet. Lullet will be on this radial 033 at 78 nautical mile from San Sebastian. At that point we intercept the Bordeaux 011, 26 nautical mile. Approaching San Sebastian, we can now climb to flight level 290. have just received a signal from Bordeaux. Bordeaux is 116 nautical mile, but we are not going direct Bordeaux yet. We take the 33 radial from San Sebastian and we intercept the 011 course to Bordeaux. Passing now flight level 100, can increase the speed 285. Let's check the cabin altitude. It's increasing correctly.
Continue to observe the fasten seatbelt sign until the captain has switched it off. We do recommend for your confident safety that you
Temperature 20 degrees. Window heat on.
Just above your head, and we'd like to remind you that this is a strictly non-smoking
Leader
flight,
APU
and also
off.
it's fitted with smoke detectors. We invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy your flight.
All the rest is okay. Outside temperature is 11 degrees. Arrival at Nantes is foreseen at 1552, 266 nautical mile. "40 minutes from now, approximately." So San Sebastian is now 12.5, so time to go to heading mode. Heading selected. Change the course to use a 033 radial from San Sebastian and re-engage Warlock. So on this 033 radial we need to go for 78 nautical miles to an intersection Lullet, Lima Uniform Tango, and at that point we intercept the 011 course towards Bordeaux at 26 nautical mile. So currently Bordeaux is at 106, so in 80 miles we should be on that course. So San Sebastian is now 3.5 nautical mile. I don't know if we can see it. No. Nothing to see. As far as the descent is concerned, will be at flight level 290 times 3, that's 60 plus 27. That is 87, so let's say 90 miles from Rennes we can start to descend. So let's put a reminder on the fixed page. The 90-mile ring. So we are now turning left on the 033 radial. San Sebastian is now 7 nautical miles behind. We re-intercept the 033 radial, so the needle will come back to the center. So needle starts to come, we turn right. Passing flight level 215 for flight level 290. And we have a wind at 45 knots, so it's a kind of tailwind. We have some tailwind. So on the progress page, page 2, you see the wind component. We have a tailwind 27 knots and a crosswind of 38 knots. So the current ground speed is 428 in the climb, which is not too bad. So currently San Sebastian 26.5. We have to go till 78. And we need to intercept Bordeaux, and Bordeaux currently is on 026 approximately, and it needs to shift to the left to 011. Passing flight level 252 or flight level 290. We can decrease a little the climb rate, 1500 feet per minute. Distance to Bordeaux is now 67.5 nautical mile. Distance from San Sebastian is now 37 nautical mile. Okay, 1,000 feet to go, and we will be on the
1,000 to go.
cruise. Altitude acquired. Altitude hold. Holding flight level 290. VNAV mode. Increase the speed to Mach 0.77. So on this heading 026 we can select heading mode, switch to Bordeaux 11375 on nav1, active frequency, and then select the course 011. When we approach the intersection, we can engage Vorlock. So for the moment we have a little more than 2 dots deviation, so it's outside scale. So we have a heading of 026, the ground track is 032 due to the wind coming from the left. So Bordeaux is now 36.5 miles, so the intersection should be at 26. Needle starts to come. We now have 2 dots deviation and diminuing, increasing. So after Bordeaux we will take the 343 radial, and that will go towards the intersection of the ILS for runway 03 at Rennes. And we will perform an ILS for runway 03. Nearly 1 dot, and Bordeaux is 26. Engage Vorlock. So on the arrival We go for ILS Zulu 03, and the ILS for 03 is 109.9er on a heading 028, and the identification is November Tango Nantes. So Bordeaux 14.2, on 02 we can select heading mode, switch the course to 343. We will engage forelock when the needle has less than 2 dots. Seven miles Bordeaux. Nothing to see. With engage forelock. So needle is switching 180 degrees. We are over Bordeaux and we turn left to intercept the 343 radial from Bordeaux towards intersection Charlie India 03. We are nearly on the radial. Bordeaux 13 nautical miles. and in about 35 nautical miles we should start to descend. 90 miles from north VOR. So the actually India 03 we should be at 3,000 feet, so there is no landing at 1555. It's about 20 minutes from now. So pretty soon we will start the descent. Another 20 miles. So the current wind is 60 knots with a little headwind component. You can check. So we have a 27 headwind and a 54 knots crosswind. North is now 108 nautical miles, so 18 miles before the top of descent. FMC is reducing the throttle to descend at 287 knots. Now we will not use VNAV to descend. So we will maintain the 287. Maybe we can reduce that even further. 280. We are 103 nautical miles to north. So 13 miles to go. And we descend immediately to 3,000 feet. So the local QNH is 1018. Here's the warning that we should reduce the altitude. So speed is good. We descend to 3,000 feet. .96 nautical mile to north. Another 5 to go. .92, 2 miles for for the top of descent. Zero, descending now, and we select 2000 feet. Thrust going idle. On the FMC now we can change the fixed page to runway 03, and we can select 3 rings, one at 4 miles, one at 10 miles, and one at 20 miles. On the radio page, we can select the ILS 109.9er, both sides, and already selected on nav2, and the heading will be 027. Bordeaux 67 nautical mile, and we go to 136. So we still have .67 nautical mile to go. So here we have an indication that we are above the VNAV bar. That's not a very good sign. We still have 61 nautical mile to the intersection Charlie India 03. So in theory we could descend 20,000 feet. So that's still okay. To be at 3,000 feet. Passing flight level 200 for 3,000 feet. We can select seatbelt signs on. Outside temperature is minus 13 degrees, so we should turn on the engine anti-ice. Yes, we have some clouds below. So we can also start to reduce the speed. Let's indicate 220 knots when able. And probably we need some speed brakes to help. Not quite yet. Bordeaux is now 98 nautical miles, so we have 38 miles to go for the intersection Charlie India 03. Passing flight level 150, spoilers deployed to reduce the speed. The green arc for reaching 3,000 feet below before the intersection, so we can reduce the climb, the descent rate. Speed now down to 260 and decreasing. So we can check the length of the runway. Runway is 9,500 feet. We go for flaps 30. Approach speed 143. So 9,500 feet. We could select auto brakes too. Speed is now 245 and still decreasing. We select flaps 1 and stow the spoiler. Speed 236 and select now the QNH 1018. So auto throttle is saying that we cannot reach to speed 220 without further drag. The thrust is at idle, but that's okay, we don't need to decrease right now, and we will reach 3000 feet below before the intersection, so that we will have time to reduce the speed at that moment. So on that heading 338 we can intercept the localizer. So let's put the ILS on nav1 and 027 or 028 was it? Let's double check. 028. Now we see the ILS November Tango is identified. We are 27 nautical mile from the runway and we are already below the glide. So can start reducing the speed 180. So when we level at 3000 feet, current speed 231, miles to go to the intersection. Can put some lights, landing light, runway light, taxi light. Start ignition switch to continuous and logo light. Outside temperature is still -1, so we keep the engine anti-ice for the moment. Passing 5000 feet for 3000 feet. Speed 226, unstable. Passing 4000 for 3000.
1,000 to go.
Leveling at 3000 feet. Flaps 2. Can engage Vorlock to intercept the ILS when it is active. Flaps 5. So auto throttle off, thrust 56. And localizer is active and captured. Turning to the runway. And the glide slope is alive now. And we can select approach mode. Reduce the speed to 160 till 4 DME. Distance 10 miles to the runway. We have the runway inside. Increase thrust 9 miles, gear down. Gear down 3 green. Flaps 10.
$2,500.
Flaps 15. Thrust at 50, maintaining 161 till 5 DME. Auto brakes at 2. All set for the landing. Waiting for the 5 mile for further flaps and a decrease of the speed. A little bit fast. .5. Five nautical mile. Flaps 25. And we reduce to 150. Flaps 30. Thrust at 52. Increasing slightly. 55. A little more. 58.
1,000.
Autopilot off. And we are ready for the approach. Wind is from the right. Continue the descent.
500.
500 feet.
400. 300. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Closing throttle. It's a bumpy runway. Reverses deployed.
80 knots.
Oh. Reverses stowed. Acceptable. Auto brakes
Thank you
off.
for flying Ryanair. Last year, over 90%
Flaps
of
up.
our flights arrived on time. We hope you enjoyed yours, and we look forward to welcoming you on board again soon. Ryanair. Low fares, made simple.
Flight director off.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're all very welcome to this airport. For your own comfort and safety, please remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened until the aircraft has come to complete stop and the captain has switched off the fasten seatbelt sign. Please refrain from smoking until you have reached the designated smoking area, which is well outside the terminal building. On behalf of your crew on board today, we'd like to thank you for choosing to fly with us, and we wish you a safe onward journey.
Was a little bit late to arrest the descent. Otherwise, it was not too bad. Turning right. Stop here for a quick replay. Yeah, it was too late. With a little bounce. Oh boy. Let's have a look from the left. Side view. Not very good.
2,500.
Can do better.
20, 20, 20, 20, 25, 20, 20, 25, 2,500. 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20.
Okay. And of course it crashes explained, so. Oh boy, boy, boy. I hate this. This is ridiculous. Anyway, we have to stop here, fortunately. See you next flight. Thank you for being with us. Have a good night.